Hello everyone, Pat here, and today we're talking about servers. And look, I've had a little bit of experience with servers, a little bit of experience in IT. I don't know everything and I am not an expert in any sort of server setup or networking, but I love my hardware. And what I'm going to talk to you guys about today is actually two special things. First of all, I'm going to tell you about this server right here, which is what I would suggest is if anybody wants to play around having some sort of server at home, this is probably the best thing you can get. And I'm going to show you something really special that I picked up at an IT auction. So stay tuned, I suppose. Look, this is just a small home server. This is a case for about $50, just a generic case that you can make a really nice gaming computer in it. What it has inside is actually quite special. The motherboard inside is very small, and it runs an AMD Athlon CPU, very cheap, about $80. Nothing special in particular. However, two things that make this very cheap and very awesome. It's got two slots for DDR3 RAM, fine. You can get cheap DDR4 sticks for about $30, $40. So you put two of them, 8 gigs, perfect. The other thing it has gigabit LAN, and if you are running a server, it's a must. Now, in a home server, you're not gonna have, 10 or 20 hard drives, maybe 2, 3, 4 at max. This has 4 SATA slots, so that's awesome. But I've only got 2 in use, and I'll tell you why. On the other side, what makes this actually extremely special is the motherboard. This can be powered by not just a PSU, but a laptop charger. A DC laptop charger can charge this. Now, I've left my DC charger away and I've put this inside, but I've also put a small power supply unit in here just for testing purposes. So you can either run it on this or on that. Now, if you want more than 2 hard drives, you will have to use this power supply. If you want just 2 hard drives, you can use the DC power in. And you can see it has VGA, it has DVI, lots of USBs, HDMI, sound, everything you need for basically a media server. Now this is only set up under the TV and it's running through the actual plug, the Ethernet, so it's a remote sort of connection and runs a media server for movies and things like that, so I can watch the TV through my stash of movies. Now, the cool thing about this, it's very small, very light, and it doesn't cost a lot. This is less than $300 for everything, including the case, the motherboard, the CPU, and a couple of sticks of RAM. There is really nothing more you need. Everything else, the software is free. You can pick up something like FreeNAS, make this into a NAS box for free. But this does not really compare. It's a very much a home use server, something to start off, play around with, and if you're going into the IT industry, look, I hope you're doing something at home, little projects that involve building or setting up servers. Anything you can get your hands on is something good to start with. Now, what I'm going to show you is, it's ridiculous. First of all, it's bloody heavy. And I'm going to have to make a little bit of space on here. I've brought a towel to put on because I don't want to scratch this table. My wife will kill me if I do that. So let me move this across and I'll show you what this video is probably going to be more about. And it's going to be a teardown of an IBM full-on rack server. I picked this up from Ross Auctions for $5. Nobody was bidding on it, so I put $5 on it and I thought that'll be funny if I get it. All I'm ever gonna do with it is probably tear it down because this is from 2006. It's an IBM computer and it's fluff and heavy indeed. But what I want to show you is what's inside and what makes one of these things run. And I suppose they haven't changed that much. They have become a little bit lighter. That's about it. But in the front, we've got slots for hard drives. And this is something you might not have seen before. These little, they're not SATA drives. They're not IDE. This is called a squidgy or something like that. One of my co-workers said it was a squidgy. Now there's 2 of them, and you're gonna laugh how much this has. This has 146.6 gigs. Very specific. But you can have up to 6 of them. 6. So there's only 2 in here. Look, you can buy these, but they're expensive, and all you ever do is set up in a RAID setting. Now, everything in here is self-contained. In the back, it has 2 power units. So if I flip this around, They're called redundant power supplies, and what the beauty is you've got them both plugged in, and I'll plug it in, turn it on for you in a minute, but you can plug them both in, and if one of them fails, all you have to do is this. Pull it out, and you've got your power supply out, replace it with a fixed one, and off you go. Nothing breaks. Plug it in. This can run off one single power supply. This whole system will run off just a single one. So one of these is actually probably, you could probably sell this for a couple of bucks. I mean, the new ones are probably 10 times better, but it's pretty darn cool. So the next thing we've got is the I/O. It's very, very small. There's some things there that I don't even know what it is, but obviously we've got the standard things. To open this up is actually quite easy. You just pull this tab here and pull it across, and the whole cover comes off. Now, the beauty with IBM was that they used to make things that were able to be basically changed over without having to use screws or any bits and pieces. So, if you were to take a tour with me, we have fans, a buttload of fans. They're all interchangeable. You can basically pull them out. If it breaks, slot in another one, and off you go. This is all about quick maintenance because that's what rack servers were. You had to quickly and very, well, you gotta fix any errors because your clients or maybe a system that you're running on here is gonna die if you don't. Now, it has a little cover and it has two CPUs. These are Xeon CPUs, very old, I think circa 2005, 4 or something like that. This whole thing was built in 2006. I don't think this was top of the line, but it does definitely have all the bits and pieces. We've got lots and lots of RAM here. If you look at all the RAM sticks, they're only actually 512 each, and one of them is busted because I have turned this on and it won't boot at all. Over here we've got the hard drive slot, so you can't really take that out unless you take the pins out. Over here we've got more bits and pieces, and you can see everything is interlockable with these nice little locks, and I think it pops up like that. You've got sideways I/O for PCI Express lanes. You've got more bits and pieces inside here. We've got a card that does probably RAID or something like that. Again, I have no idea, but everything here is, well, server grade back in the... But here's an interesting part. Looks like a RAM stick, but it has a battery in it. No idea what it does. Country of origin, Indonesia. As we look around, there's not many other bits and pieces that can fail. If you've got a motherboard failure, that's it. The whole rack is gone. If you want to, change a CPU, that's very easy. You pop one of these things on, and you can basically take out the CPU very, very easily. And here we have basically a Xeon, but it's very old. I'm not even sure which one it is. Let's have a look if we can see the markings on it. Now I said I would turn it on just for shits and giggles. Let me put that back in. Let me put this CPU back in. I don't want to damage this. I mean, somebody might on eBay, but this is old. You can see it's got the pins on this one. This is very, very old. As you can see, this is not a standard setup. It does not have a fan on the CPU, just cooling rails, I suppose, just aluminium metal, I think, maybe even on the bottom we've got copper. But that's all there is on this because it's passively cooled in the sense that the air passes through the system and out. There is huge cooling units in the racks areas that the cold air gets pushed in and basically pulled out. I believe it goes out the front, the hot, and the cold is always behind it, so it's sucking it in. I've been to a data center before, and that's pretty much what it looked like. You have little cold rooms where the fronts of it are, and then out the back is where all the hot air leaves. Now put it all back in, and I'm gonna basically power it on, and you can hear how, first of all, how loud it is. All right, here we go. I'm gonna turn it on for the first time in a while. Ooh, it's going. Look at that, spinning, and I just pop it back in, and it's still going. Now this is extremely loud. I thought, hey, why not have a server like this at home? Well, because it's really bloody loud. And imagine having this at night running in your house. Unless you've got a server rack in a garage. Why would you have this? I don't know. There it is, guys. This would have cost thousands upon thousands of dollars when it first was built. The software itself, like Microsoft Server, would have cost even more. But now it's worthless, and that's the thing with technology. And I suppose a good topic to talk about is future-proof, because nothing is ever future-proof in the tech world. Everything is always going to be outdone by a new thing. And that's what I wanted to sort of show. I wanted to show you a server that's worth $5. 10 years ago, it was thousands upon thousands, and how quickly things have gone down. Not even a car goes down that quickly. I mean, it's still a couple of thousand for a car. It's still useful. This is practically not useful at all. Now I'm going to go to the auctions. I'm going to pick up some more bits and pieces, see if I can get a better server and actually show it running. When you boot this up, you get a lot of crap messages and it just goes into a boot loop. Now I'm pretty sure that's because one of the RAM sticks is dead, but I haven't had the time to play around with this because, to be honest, it's kind of pointless. But it's fun to look inside, you know, what's here. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope it was a little bit interesting of what's inside a server rack. And I hope to see you in another video. Thank you very much.